Hello everyone and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at this, which is the brand new B&M exclusive Keys of Marinus set, which is out now in B&M stores for $19.99. Now, much like the Sensorite set that I reviewed last time, we have three brand new action figures to take a look at today. So as ever, we'll kick off by taking a look at the box, which is your fairly standard Doctor Who packaging design now. We have Doctor Who, the TARDIS, limited edition Keys of Marinus collector figure set, 5.5-inch collector series, a massive window box which displays all three figures beautifully. I apologise that you can't really see the inside of the packaging because I'm filming this with my back to a window and the reflection is being seen in the packaging there. But you can see that the backdrop behind the figures is of Marinus. On the side, we have Ian Chesterton and Voord 1 and Voord 2. On the back, we have more text, Doctor Who, Keys of Marinus, etc., etc. A illustration of the three figures and a write-up of the Keys of Marinus. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause it now. On the other side, we have Doctor Who once again and the illustration of the TARDIS, Keys of Marinus 1964. Nothing much to say on the top and nothing much to say on the bottom. So without further ado, let's get these figures out of the box and take a look at them. So here we have the Keys of Marinus set out of the box, and I really don't know where to start. Here we have three action figures which I never thought we'd see in the Doctor Who line, let alone in a B&M set. But it feels weird to say this, but I'm going to kick off by taking a look at the action figure of Ian Chesterton. Now, I never thought we'd get an action figure of Ian, and it's just incredible that we have. Taking a look at the head sculpt, wow. It's just a dead ringer for William Russell. I find it to be one of those where the images on camera don't really do the sculpt justice, but having it in hand, it's a dead ringer. It looks fantastic. The details and the paint apps all really bring out the sculpt, and you can see the grey wash through the hair there. Moving down, we have seen this body mould before, notably with the Harold Saxon Master, or the John Sim Master for that matter. But when you can get away with reusing a body mould, go for it. And this body mould really suits Ian. So you can see that we have a sort of matte black blazer with a white shirt, a crisp white shirt, and a blue, red and green tie, which, as many people have pointed out, isn't anything that Ian wears in the Keys of Marinus, but he wears a sort of toga look in the Keys of Marinus, or a sort of tunic. And I don't think that would have been what you call iconic enough for Ian. Most people remember him in his suit, and I'm really glad that that's what B&M and Couch Options decided to go for. Moving down to the hands, we have, I think these are brand new sculpts for the hands, and they look fantastic. We've got a ring on the right hand and a ring on the left hand. Moving down, we've got the trousers, which are a sort of dark grey, I would say, and black boots, which, as we've said, are exactly the same as those seen on the Master, but they look fantastic. You can see all the details of the decoration on the boots there, such as the dots and the embroidery, and it just looks fantastic. This is a figure that I never thought we'd get, and I'm sure you can hear it in my voice that I'm ecstatic to finally have this figure in the collection. And it's, I believe, our first 60s companion. So we just need Barbara and Susan to go along with him and the Doctor now. Taking a look at articulation, we have a swivel at the neck, although mine is very stiff, and I don't really want to force it. So I'm quite happy just leaving the head as it is. We have a spin at the shoulder. You have articulation at the bicep, a hinge at the elbow, articulation at the wrist, swivel at the waist, articulation at the hip, and a hinge at the knee. So the articulation does appear quite dated now, but that is because the base figure is from 2007, so you can be forgiven for that. And what more articulation would you have wanted to have had Ian do. You know, this is perfectly fine for the figure. So yeah, this is incredible. This is fantastic. But if you thought it could get better, well, you're right, because the other two figures in the set are of the Voord, which I never thought we'd see. These are, you know, this is incredible that we're getting action figures of the Voord. Now, you would be forgiven for thinking that these are just two of the same figure packed into the set. And I would have thought that that's what they would have done. But no, they've gone the extra mile and have given us two different Voord for this set. So I'm just going to do a comparison side by side with the differences, first of all. So you can see that we actually have two completely different head sculpts. One with the circular antennae or disc, whatever they are, I can't quite remember. But we have one with a circular headdress and one with a triangular headdress. And this just looks fantastic, and it really gives a lot of difference between them, especially when they're stood on the shelf. Other differences are, you can see that the one on the left has two silver dots around the crotch area, whereas the one on the right has one silver dot at the top of the body. And it's just fantastic how they've gone the extra mile to give us two different figures in this set. But predominantly we're going to take a look at this one, because apart from those differences, they are pretty much the same. So we've taken a look at the head sculpt, and wow, it's just fantastic. It looks terrific. You can see all the angular bits of the head sculpt, really, really well sculpted. Here we have these ear holes, which I'm not sure were in the story. Well, they obviously were in the story, but I think were just for the actors to be able to hear. So again, like the Sensorites with their zip down the back, that's a nice little meta nod for the fans. You can see the detail of the antenna on top of the head and the gills type detailing on the back here. And it's worth noting that the eyes are painted with a shiny black or gloss black paint, whereas the rest of the figure is a matte black. So that just gives the eyes a bit of definition. Moving down to the body, once again, they are using the Axon Man or Sharaz Jack body mold, but once again, it works perfectly well. However, this new Voord figure has been given the same amount of new tooling as the Sensorites, not just with the head sculpt, but with other bits, which I will come to in a second. So first of all, we have the bandolier with the belt and the knife sheath, which looks fantastic and really makes the figure pop on the shelf, despite it all being in black plastic. Looking at the knife sheath, you can see that there's 4 silver studs painted on there just to give a bit of definition. And you can actually remove the knife from the sheath, and that is the Voord's accessory. You get 2 of these, one for each Voord. And if I can just hold it in my hand without it falling out, it looks really good given the size. Although I have had a bit of trouble getting the knife into the hand, so I'm just going to leave it in the sheath for now. Looking at the hands, we have, these are brand new molded hands with the webbed look, and they look fantastic. They look really, really good. It's really nice that they've given us one sort of hand for holding the knife and one open palmed hand. That way you can really see the webbed appearance of the hands there. Looking at the legs, they are pretty much what you've come to expect from the Axon, from Sharaz Jack, even from the Sensorites, until you get to the feet, where you have these enlarged flippers or scuba flippers for the feet, which just look fantastic. They're really cool. And the fact that they've been able to do this is fantastic. When these figures were leaked, I suspected that they would forego this for just regular feet to save on the costs, but the fact that they've gone to this extent to make these screen accurate is terrific. It just looks fantastic, and you can see all the ridged detailing there, and yeah, they just look terrific. So taking a look at articulation on the Voord, we have a swivel at the head, ball jointed shoulders, a swivel at the bicep, hinge at the elbow, articulation at the wrist, articulation at the waist, which is a bit stiff, articulation at the hip, the thigh, the knee, and the ankle. So we have the same articulation on the Voord as we would with the Sensorites. So overall, what do I think of this set? Well, it's fantastic. This set and the Sensorite set have really created a very high bar for Doctor Who figures going forward. The fact that character options and B&M are able to reutilize existing molds and tweak them ever so slightly, such as with the Voord's flippers or Ian's head or the bandolier or the Voord heads, just to give us brand new characters and brand new decos, has really raised the bar this year in terms of what's possible in this B&M range. I never thought we'd get a figure of Ian. I never thought we'd get figures of the Voord. Yet here we are, somehow. And it's just fantastic. Once again, like the Sensorites, I will probably pick up another set just to have a few more Voord on the shelf. And it just gives some more 60s monsters to the first Doctor's era, which is fantastic. So if you want to pick up your set, you can go out right now to B&M stores and pick up your set for just $19.99, which is a great price for 3 action figures. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next review, which will be of the History of the Daleks set 5, Power of the Daleks. So see you then. Goodbye.